Sensual images of a couple, a man and a woman, making love in the shower. He suddenly attacks her. Cut to a couple making love in bed. It looks like she was the woman who was remembering the shower scene. When he finishes, she doesn't seem to be very satisfied. The radio is on. The woman is named Kate Miller. She tells off her son, Pete Miller, because he doesn't want to go to the museum with her. He prefers to stay home, working on an improved computer that can count binary numbers up to 20 digits. It looks like Kate's partner, Mike, is not Pete's father. Kate leaves home to see her psychiatrist, Dr. Robert Elliott, who has to perform the duties of receptionist as Mary is on holiday. Kate complains about the surprise visit of her mother from Florida due to her approaching birthday. She also complains about Mike's specialties. She is fed up with her husband and mother, but she doesn't say anything to the right person. Elliot tells her not to get angry with him, but with Mike, and to tell him that he's bad in bed. She questions Elliot, asking whether he finds her attractive or not. He admits that he finds her attractive, but he also says that he's married and doesn't want to put his marriage in danger. Kate says she isn't sure whether putting her own marriage with Mike at risk would be worthwhile. Later, Kate is at the museum. A man sits next to her. She leaves a glove for him. They follow each other around the museum. She loses sight of him, so she has an expression that says, "Obviously, he wasn't serious about me," but when she turns around, he's there staring at her. She seems to panic for a second, and then is happy that he's not there. But he appears again behind her, touching her with her own glove. When she realizes she's lost it, she tries to find it and then realizes he's got it. Music plays with innuendo while she tries to find him. When she leaves the museum, she sees his hand, showing the glove from a yellow cab. She smiles and tells him politely, "Thank you for retrieving my missing glove." But he pulls her inside. They make love, while the taxi driver looks at them through the rearview mirror. They arrive at his destination, his apartment. She stays with him through the afternoon. When she's about to leave, she finds papers stating that he's suffering from a sexually transmitted disease, and that she has probably caught it. She leaves. When she's in the elevator, she's so nervous that she rubs her hands together. Then she realizes that she's forgotten her wedding ring in the man's apartment. She has to go back. But when she gets to the right floor, another blonde woman, probably wearing a wig and dark sunglasses, stabs her with a straight razor. Kate is left for dead, bloodied. Another couple of people have called the elevator. They are discussing the convenience of buying shares in a particular company. The attacker runs away, but Elizabeth Liz Blake stares at him. When she looks inside the elevator, Kate is still alive. They try to reach out for each other's hands, while the elevator doors slowly close. In the last second, Liz stares up and, in the reflection of the mirror, she sees the blonde, wigged woman who is about to cut her hand as well. She backs up. A cleaning lady appears and shouts when she sees Liz, who is still holding the razor menacingly in her hand. Elliot finds an answering machine message left for a man, saying that there is a woman trying to get out of his body. He is worried because the man has also admitted to stealing a straight razor from the cabinet in his office. Detective Marino questions Elliot, who gets very defensive but doesn't mention the answering machine message. Meanwhile, Liz is waiting to be questioned as well, and Pete is listening to the whole conversation. Marino mentions that the man, Warren Lockman, was recognized by the taxi driver. Mike picks Pete up. Marino questions Liz about what she was doing in the building. She says she was with a married man. She's a prostitute. Marino suspects her. Nobody saw the blonde woman, and Liz's fingerprints are on the weapon. The man, Ted, is from out of the city, and Marino tells Liz that she is the only interested person in finding him. When Liz leaves, Pete is also stuck with a man he doesn't love at all. His true father died during the Vietnam War. Pete tries to investigate the case as well. On his blue moped, he follows Liz all over the city. He arranges a camera to be hidden inside a box at the back of the bike, while he watches Liz. The mysterious man has phoned Elliot again, threatening her. Liz tries to stay home, but she needs the money to invest in the company that Ted had recommended, so she asks for $500 to meet a client, Cleveland Sam, in room 331. She leaves a bit distraught. She jumps into a taxi but realizes that somebody is following her. She asks the young taxi driver to lose the follower. The taxi driver wants to meet her for dinner. Liz runs to the underground, but when she tries to leave, another blonde trans woman scares her off. Liz approaches some black men who are listening to the radio, but one of them, called Sonny, threatens her. As the train arrives, Liz tells a police officer, but he thinks she is making it all up because he can't see any gang threatening her. Claims that a blonde is following her leave. The officer even more convinced that she's mad. At the next station, the police officer leaves. When the doors close, the gang appears again, just causing a nuisance to all passengers. Liz runs from them and closes one door behind her. At that moment, the blonde woman puts her hand over her mouth and wants to slash her with another straight razor. Fortunately, Pete saves Liz using an anti-rape spray of his invention. Liz invites him over. Pete sleeps at Liz's and she promises that he won't tell anyone that he's not studying French with his friend Paul. Liz tells him that she knows the blonde woman left the doctor's office, but she can't explain how she knows it. As Marino can't get a warrant, he suggests Liz enter Elliot's office and check the doctor's agenda. Dr. Levy tells Elliot that one of his patients, Bobby, has stopped seeing him because he didn't approve of his sex change. Elliot tells Levy that Bobby must be the murderer of the woman in the elevator. Liz pretends to be a new patient of Dr. Elliot. She tells him about an erotic dream, but also admits that she's a prostitute, although she sometimes makes love to men for pleasure. She gets naked trying to seduce him. During all this time, Pete is watching through some lens. Liz checks the doctor's address book and thinks the name she's looking for is Chris Clemens. Pete tries to tell her that the blonde woman is inside the office. He's seen her. But the blonde woman has attacked him, so when he finally cries out to Liz, the blonde woman is already prepared to slash her with a straight razor. At that moment, a blonde woman who was holding Pete down shoots Bobby. The wig falls off. The blonde woman is actually a wounded man. It's Dr. Robert Elliot. Sometime later, Levy, Marino, Pete, and Liz are sitting together. Levy explains that Elliot had a double personality. He was the masculine doctor, but he was also a patient who wanted a sex change. Back at a madhouse, a nurse walks in to give Dr. Elliot his medicine. He looks defenseless and sleepy, but he jumps up and strangles her. The other madmen cheer. Pete invites Liz to sleep at his home, saying that his stepfather won't mind. Naked in the shower, Liz senses danger. Somebody dressed as a nurse approaches. Suddenly, the razor is at Liz's neck. The same blonde woman cuts Liz's neck. Terrified, Liz wakes up in a bedroom at Pete's. He tries to calm her down. Thank you, dear, for watching, and see you again in the other movie.